Welcome to my series where I solve problems from Olympiads and other maths challenges. In these videos I'll be solving the problem, and sometimes I'll give extensions that will stretch your maths further, or general tips for solving problems of this
So
type.
we're looking at this problem 11 from the AMC8 2017. I like this problem because it's got a neat bit of just geometric thinking about squares, odds and evens, but also there's a really important little arithmetic trick that will save you some time at the end. So let's read the question. A square-shaped floor is covered in many congruent square tiles. So it just means like it's a square grid like what I've got drawn here. If the total number of tiles that lie on the two diagonals is 37, how many tiles cover the floor? Well, there's a bunch of options here. One's actually been cut off. It doesn't matter. Let's just think about the problem. We can work it out without having to look at all of the options. So the first thing to do is let's just look at a really simple case. Let's have a look at two squares. Okay. One which is a 4x4 and one which is a 3x3, and we'll have a look at what happens with the diagonals in these cases. So when we have an even number, like in this 4x4, you see the diagonals do not overlap. So there's two diagonals and they don't overlap, therefore the total number is 8 in this case. 4 red, 4 blue. But now if we look at the 3x3 case, when you draw one diagonal, it actually overlaps with the other diagonal, which means that you have two diagonals of the same length, which is an even number, but then they overlap, so you have to take away one, so it's going to be odd. Okay. So when you have an odd by odd, in this case 3x3, you're going to get an odd number of diagonal tiles. So 37 is quite clearly an odd number. And what we know is that 37 must be 2 times the number in the diagonal, take away 1. So let's think about that, let's solve that. So then it means that the number in the diagonal must be 19. Okay, there's 19 in the diagonal of this square. Now if you think every single diagonal just has one tile in one row and one column, it's a square, of course, which means that the square itself must be 19 by 19. Alright, and then we'd have 19 like this, 19 like that, and then you'd have 1 in the overlap. So 19 plus 19, 38, take away 1 is 37. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to multiply 19 by 19. Okay. Of course you can just use this with column multiplication, but I think whenever you've got these, especially squares of numbers that are either 1 less or 2 less or 1 more or 2 more than a nice round number like 20, there's a really useful trick that you should think about using, and I'll show you how to do that now. So if you imagine doing 10 times 9 and 10 times 9, that's one way to do it is you get 100, and then you get 90, and then you get 90, and then you get 81, and then you have to add all of these up. Okay, but there's another way to think about it, is actually it's 20 and minus 1, 20 and minus 1. That's another way to write 19. So this would be 400, this would be minus 40, this would be minus 40, and this would be plus 1. Sorry, not minus 40, it would be minus 20. Minus 20 plus 1. And then you can see that the numbers are actually a little bit easier to deal with, they're a bit smaller, especially this number here. And then if you add them all up, you get 361. So the answer is C.
If you found this video helpful or interesting, please hit the like button, let me know why in the comments below, and of course subscribe so you won't miss the next video. Thanks for watching, see you next time.